I'm standing at attention. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sports fans. Good college football, maybe a little bit. Pro football
to sports fans.
Golf a little bit.
Baseball
and softball. Ohio State baseball, Ohio State softball. Just because I like both of these people that got a little interview with the other day.
Yeah.
Justin Haire, the baseball coach at Ohio State. They're coming off a 13-37 season, which was his first at Ohio State. But, you don't get hired as a new coach because things are going great usually.
No.
And he's trying to fix that. Kirin Kumar, in her first year at Ohio State, the softball coach, all she did was produce the sluggingest team in
America.
In major college softball. And, they're rebuilding a couple of key things, including losing Cammie Corderacks, their longtime leader, just clubhouse leader. Is that the best way of putting it?
Yeah, and
I think shortstop, but
she's playing and coaching now, from what I hear.
Yeah,
Cammie Corderacks.
I enjoyed a few times I got to interview her. I thought she was very interesting, to say the least. And they lost their catcher, as you well know, in the transfer portal. Went to Texas Tech, where all great players in softball end up because of that dude. Show me the money.
That dude.
And so I asked Kirin Kumar a little bit about that also. I just think it's tough. Neither one of these are in the revenue sharing plan of Ohio State. I mean, there are only 4 sports that are, as you well know. Ohio State football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and women's volleyball, which had a horrendous season last year. But we'll see if they get that straightened. But then the other 32 sports, pretty much they're not lacking for resources, but they're in a tough deal when, in fact, you think about some of these schools that they play against in their sport that don't have football, for example. So
spread the love.
They can take the revenue sharing, if in fact they're getting any revenue.
Yeah.
Those schools can take the revenue sharing and put it into necessarily those sports, and just like Texas Tech has got a tremendous NIL program going, as we well know it. It resurrected the football program and has elevated the softball program. I mean, who would have thunk it? But that's where the money is.
Well, I mean, you're talking some SEC schools have anywhere from 13 to 17. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no lacrosse. There's no
they got
field
usually
hockey.
most of the SEC schools have around 21 sports. But that's what you're talking about. You're exactly right. And that's why all these talks about the Big Ten and the SEC getting their act together and getting together and fixing. Dude, every program, every major college athletic department is different. I mean, they're different from each other, much less from the SEC to the Big Ten. Alabama and Ohio State or athletic department. Alabama's got what 20, 21 varsity sports, like you said. Ohio State's got 36.
Well, think about how.
Ohio State get rid of some, or Alabama add some. Well, no, you eat to each his own.
Well, south of the Mason-Dixon line, baseball is humongous.
Yeah, and then we get into that. I get into that with Justin Haire.
Cool.
Well, the main thing I get into is, in Pensacola, where the baseball team is headed for its season opening, several games this weekend. It's nice down there today.
But that's the
you know
problem.
What I mean? There's not a foot of snow still sitting there for the last month.
These poor northern schools play 20 games before they ever get home, and when they get home, it's not even 55 degrees.
But what do? Do you move baseball season to like late April through August?
I've been campaigning to move the lacrosse season to a month later.
Yeah,
they're playing last night. Goodness gracious, Easton, PA, with the snow piled up like this off the field, and the play-by-play guy said, should they have played with an orange ball tonight?
Yeah, exactly. It's okay till the ball goes in the snowbank. Luckily, every lacrosse team has about 4,000 balls. So
True.
But no, I'm with you. They played their home opener in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center last weekend.
Yeah,
I know
State sure
Mike
did.
Bassford getting that interview with Coach Myers after it was over, and I think they won. So
they're 2-0.
Yeah, they're 2-0. I mean, I think Nick Myers. They went out and they've got a couple of guys new that are going to make them. They got their goalie back, right?
They have good goalie back, big tasty Caleb Fyack. But
boy, that guy's impressive.
I don't know how many know this, but their top defender, All-American Bobby Van Buren, tore his ACL.
When was this? I didn't know that. Did not know that.
Practice.
Well, he could still ski
for 12
I
seconds.
Did not know that.
No,
I did not know that.
No, it's huge.
That's horrible.
But they are loaded. I mean, they are loaded on defense. And Travis Klein, who is their defensive coach, I'm going lacrosse crazy. Yeah. But at any rate,
that's okay. You're a lacrosse crazy kind of dude.
But they can make up for it. But he's a hell of a player.
Well, that's the thing. There's other guys, and you have a quality roster, other guy. But when you've got one of the best in the nation, you don't just replace that guy.
No, first team All-American.
Yeah.
Travis Crane. I'd say
just like football, man.
Travis Crane. That's Travis Crane.
That's why Ryan Day and Mark Pantoni, or and everybody else involved with Ohio State football is working their rear end off to have the deepest roster you can have in terms of quality individuals who can play. That's why they pass on certain guys. They don't want to just bring a body in to have a body, to have a number. They want the person theoretically to be able to contribute, and it's hit or miss. I mean, on a lot of these guys, just like we talked about with Ethan Onyeonwa last year, he was their big get on the offensive line and
paid a lot of money.
Yeah, he never became a starter. And then Philip Daniels, the transfer, kid grew up down near Cincinnati and was at Minnesota, transferred in. He started at right tackle, I think, the entire season. So hit, miss, right?
Well, you probably heard they brought in their third kicker today.
Yes.
They're not going to.
You got to have competition.
Goals. Yeah.
You got to have competition at that spot. I do believe that Connor Hawkins kid they got from Baylor's going to end up being the guy.
Okay.
But we'll see how that goes, right? I mean,
he was the first acquisition, I think.
Yeah, but it's just like, wow, I had somebody put that out today or respond to some tweet or something I put out or somebody else put out about just how perpetual Ohio State has been in the national championship run race the last two and a half decades.
That's what I was about to say, 30
really
years.
Going back to 1995, the last 6 years of the John Cooper era, just how they, but the guy made the point. He goes, yes, the almost always almost will award of how many national championships they could have been in contention for or were in contention for and couldn't get over the hump in one way or another. Because I'd brought up the fact that somebody had brought up the fact of I think it was my buddy Doug Maurice responding to something Paul Feinbaum put on the thing about something that you knew, or I don't remember. He was talking about how he saw the demise of the SEC coming several years ago. Doug did. Doug and I stood in the parking lot at Woody Hayes Athletic Center and talked about all those things one afternoon.
Sure.
And we should have recorded that. Yeah. But and then, of course, I've been on Feinbaum many times, and just usually it's where he likes to bring me on as the whipping dog to talk about how close Ohio State comes, but no avail. Well, the last 3 seasons, the Big Ten has won 3 national championships. I'm not really a fan of that T-shirt somebody's put out showing the 3 straight winners from the Big Ten, because because I don't think most Ohio State fans want to wear a shirt that's got Michigan on it. And for that matter, Indiana, now the new kid on the block, the new bully who moved in. You know what I mean? You had one of those, right, when you were growing up?
Oh, Robert Mockbee.
There you go.
We were in the same fourth period, and he used to go. He would spit on his finger and do this right at me.
Yeah.
And after about 5 days, I think I even asked maybe one of my parents, I said, can I hit it? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I didn't hit him with my fist. I took my notebook, and that was those hard,
loose leaf binders.
No, 3-ring binder.
Yeah, 3-ring loose leaf binders.
So it had some oomph to it.
Yeah.
And I just whacked him on top of the head.
Good for you, man.
And the teacher, do we have a problem? Do we have a problem? And he,
not anymore.
And he and Steve Callum are the only people I ever got into it with. We fought so long in the front yard. My mom went to the grocery store, kind of looked out like, what's wrong with you boys? Came back, and we were still
Were you like Ralphie in A Christmas Story?
I don't know what I was.
Blinking, ding, 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 block, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah.
Those were my only.
I dealt with a couple of bullies when I was growing up in my life, and one of them I just
Isn't that
disregarded, but another one I actually stood up to, and we threw a few, if not 400 punches, and
we didn't.
One of the few times, I mean, literally, that's the only real fight I ever had in my life, and I won.
There you go. Congrats, man.
Because I wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean?
We just rolled around on the ground. I think we just took each other down.
Yeah, I don't count having a fight with my brothers as real fights.
Right. No.
I remember my middle brother choking out my big brother. I had 3 brothers, one older than me, 2 younger, and they would get in the biggest fights you ever saw, as in wrestling.
Yes.
You know, don't hit in the face. And my middle brother, Mike could play any, I think I've said this before on here. Mike could play any instrument you put in front of him.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about from strings to trombone, trumpet to keyboards. He could play. I do believe people are born.
Was he the oldest?
As savants. No, he was the middle.
Okay.
He was below me, and then Tony was my baby brother.
Yeah.
But Mike and them, all of a sudden you're looking out in the carport because a fight had gone from the back room of the house to the carport in Lufkin, and Mike's got his arm around Ben and chokes him out.
Oh,
Ben. Yeah. And then Ben comes, because it's one of those things with brothers. It's one of those things with brothers. Mike, next thing you know, Mike's over him going, Ben, wake up.
Oh, you're scared to death at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell another story about that one of these days. It was very interesting. It involved me and my dad after Ben and Mike had a big one. But that's another story. It included a major league trip to the hospital. But I digress. My baby brother, Tony, who's 68.
Yes.
He could attest that he's my one remaining brother. But anyway, I don't know why I got off on the sidetrack there. But here's the thing. I don't know about you.
We got into bullies.
But the continual review of Ohio State in the transfer portal, in the recruiting ranks and stuff, in my opinion, is getting sort of old, because you don't really. I mean, you can talk about these guys they've gotten and stuff, but until you see them like first in the spring and then later, because Ethan Anianwa, like I brought him up, you know, he was going to be the starter at left tackle.
Yep.
And and that didn't end up being the case.
And then they moved him.
Well, yeah, they basically moved him out of the way, you know.
Yeah.
And we all saw how that developed as the year went on last year. I mean, they ended up with a guy that was going to be a guard at left tackle and played extremely well until he got just basically beat up or banged up and high ankle sprain in the national quarterfinal against Miami, and they couldn't play, and they ran out of offensive linemen. Isn't it funny? Yeah. We talked about this with Jeff on Monday, if you remember this, but both Indiana and Miami, three out of every 6 plays attacked that right side of the Ohio State offensive line where the weak link really was. And just like Seattle did against New England.
And was successful.
By that time in a season, if you've got a weak link, people are going to find it. And, believe me, Ryan Day understands that. One of the reasons he brought in Arthur Smith, Maine, for new offensive coordinators. Number one, he's got that NFL pedigree. But number two, he's pretty big on the run game, just like Chip Kelly was a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. The run game sort of, and it was because, of the personnel, I do believe more than anything else, sort of was lacking. Well, not sort of was lacking against the major opponents last year from a consistent basis.
Right.
You got to get that figured out. So we'll see if in fact they do. I'm just, to me, it's going to be a curious season for Ohio State. Isn't it funny? I just saw where on the internet, and I think this is basically a good signing because I've watched this guy on video. This is how screwed up I am. A guy by the name of Aiden Sayin, Julian Sayin's older brother.
Just heard about it.
Yeah, but I've watched him. I asked Julian several questions about him as the year went on last year and stuff because his brother is 3 years older than him.
Right.
And he went to Penn.
Yeah.
University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. And if you ever watch his video, he can throw the ball, man.
Well,
And now
tell the people he's coming to C-Bus.
yeah, he's coming to see. Well, I do believe that's correct. I mean, I don't know if that's been announced or not by
Well,
the Aviators and head coach Ted Ginn Jr. But we understand he's coming to C-Bus, and that'll be interesting because I think he's pretty good. I think I'll be interesting to, he hadn't played in a couple of years.
Similar size to Julian.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm trying to remember. He might actually be just a little bit bigger. They're, but the bottom line is, their parents produced two guys that, if you watch them play, have ridiculous touch throwing the football, and they can throw every pass known to man. So that helps. But I'll be interesting to see if, he gets in there and he can play, because I think he could. But you still got to protect, right? Everybody wants to lay everything on Julian saying for that Miami game. Dude, it was to a certain extent, it was like watching a little bit, but Julian was better in certain moments because they had a couple of 3 or 4 drives where they actually moved the ball and and had a couple of touchdowns. But it was almost the same exercise that Lincoln Keynotes had against Missouri in that Cotton Bowl, same stadium 2 years earlier, where they could not consistently block, could not consistently protect. And John Cooper, former Ohio State coach, used to say, "Don't catch up with you till it catches up with you." Isn't that funny? Me doing a Southern accent of John Cooper, huh? What do you think about that juxtaposition?
I had the greatest time. Anyway,
you had the greatest time. What?
95 opening game in the Meadowlands, correct, against BC?
Yeah. Sean Springs.
They whipped them. Terry Glenn was humming. Eddie George was humming. Bobby Hoying was humming. So, Coach Cooper's daughter, Cindy, was my partner.
That's right.
On the field.
That's right.
After it was over, she says, "Daddy, I'm going to bring you over here to Clay." And we'd met and blah, blah, blah. And I tied that man up for a half hour.
A half hour?
Maybe. At least
15. I hope he'd already done our interviews.
No, he had not. After 15 or 20 minutes, I would say. And the next day.
That's why you and I competed for that first question way back then.
Before Learfield, whoever was the ownership then, he got several phone calls.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, guys, that'll never happen again, by the way." Yeah. But I enjoyed it while it did.
I'm glad to be in Columbus. Woo! And I'm glad I hired I'm glad I helped hire the coach's daughter, because I'm telling you, he would do anything for Cindy.
He would.
Yeah.
He absolutely.
And his son, John. I mean, people ripped on that on occasion. I just go, you people are just messed up, man. Just,
Yeah, you don't have kids.
Whether you like John Cooper or not, you can't say he wasn't a good guy. You know what I mean? Still is. Just talking to him the other day. But we digressed. Where were we headed anyway? We were headed to playing some interviews and stuff, but I want to get you on a couple other things.
Okay.
You know what I get to, you get tired of this argument. It comes up every year about this time. Now it used to come up maybe a month or so later, because the Players Championship was actually played in May most of the time in Sawgrass, right? Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra, Florida, right on the coast there, southeast of Jacksonville, that it should be a major. And I go, I mean, I'm tired of the argument but I understand it, if you follow my drift. Because why would you mess with something that's now so encrusted, like Mount Rushmore, which is the 4 majors, PGA Championship, the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the Open in Great Britain?
Yeah.
Why are you so insistent of number one, either messing with that lineup or taking one of those away, which would probably be the PGA Championship, and making the Players the argument is,
would you have to take one away?
The argument is it's the one tournament every year that almost guarantees you the top 60 players in the world. But you know what?
Yeah.
No, because live players aren't playing in it.
Well,
I mean, and you knocked that, but I mean, Cam Smith has won that tournament, I think. I don't know if Bryson DeChambeau has or not, but I mean, there's like 4 or 5 guys in the live ranks that would more than that, really, probably, who would be worthy of playing in it, you know.
Right.
And
right.
so if they're excluded if you're matching the best players in the world, what does it matter what affiliation you have? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you want to add the players, and then the next step is the memorial, and some yahoos may say, I think they should add waste management because that's the most fun that there is.
No way you add the waste management.
Come on, let's shake it up.
Some guys won't play in that because of how stupid it gets on Sunday.
I know.
Ask Hideki Matsuyama. He had a chair dropped in his backswing there on 18 when he had a chance to clinch it. And
it's not the
and then he loses to Chris Gotterup, which I like Chris Gotterup a lot. That guy's got game, man.
He's already won twice.
Plus a hell of a blast name. Chris Gotterup. Gotterup. But anyway, but go ahead. I mean, if you do that, where do you stop? That's the thing.
Exactly.
The Memorial is as well run a tournament as there probably is in the world.
And for my first 25 years here, the field was lights out. I mean, yeah,
but
it's right there.
But it too is an invitational tournament, just like the Masters is. You can sort of earn your way into it and stuff. The reason I like the Opens is both the Open in Great Britain and the Open in Ohio, the Open in the United States, you can play your way into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there aren't very many spots open to play your way. I'm talking about me or you.
But we can qualify.
If I really got my short game, if I could get my short game, and then if I could get my wedge game going, and if I could get my long irons and short irons going, and then my hybrids, and then if I could just hit consistently off the tee onto the fairway,
you could play in the U.S. Open.
I could play in the U.S. Open, but
he's worked the U.S. Open the last 3-4 years.
No, the last
5.
The last
Is it
4.
more?
I'm going to Shinnecock Hills this year.
Are you?
And I'm going to Pebble Beach next year as a volunteer. Yeah, I mean,
darn right.
Totally enjoy it, man. It's the main reason I go there. I'll be honest with you, because you can't really watch golf. You can't. I've been in merchandise the last couple of years. But the first time I went there, I worked the scoreboards at the country club in Brookline, Massachusetts. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think when I got, because hardly anybody has those manual scoreboards anymore.
Right.
They've gone to almost exclusive electronic.
Like
but
LED.
the point is that I got put into merchandise. And I went, merchandise? But I totally have enjoyed it. Yeah. Working, getting to know different people, getting to know.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the money they make at the U.S. Open on merchandise sales is stupid money. If you and I got into the wrong professions.
If you volunteer at the Memorial, they don't give you shirts, they give you a big discount. You pay to be, like, I think it's $240.
Okay. To be a volunteer, but you get a full week pass. You can go to the tournament. You're required to work 4 shifts, meaning 4 days. I always sign up for the 6:30 a.m. shift.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm done by 11 and go watch golf.
I always wondered, because you're always tweeting. I'm like, he's supposed to be working.
But you know, in the afternoon, I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And I usually show up and just work the other 2 days, because why not? And because I'm there. And like at Pinehurst, that was great, man. I mean, last year at Oakmont, I mean, I love that golf course. I think it's kind of a rinky-dink golf course. I mean, one of the great architects who lives here in Columbus, I'm not going to say his name, but he said the word around among golf architects is they call it Jokemont, because of the way.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you will, but we're not going to name names, because the guy's a great guy, not a good guy.
Tremendous.
Great guy.
The guy I know.
Yeah. Same guy. There aren't very many of them.
No, there aren't.
But anyway, my point is, it was, I mean, and the way they had it set up, it was very, I mean, you literally have to be hitting the ball down the middle, and then you have to hit that next shot with some panache.
The next time you see Anthony
But I've never
Rothman.
been to Shinnecock Hills. I'd never been to Oakmont until last year. I'd never been to Pinehurst number 2 till the year before. I'd never been to LA Country Club till the year before that, and I'd never been to the country club in Brookline. I said, yeah. I said, I kept telling some of the members there, I go, yeah, well, it's the country club. It was a blah, 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 through there now. Yeah. I go, yeah, well, in Columbus, we've got the golf club. We don't mess with all, it doesn't mess with all this other stuff. It's just the golf club.
Columbus can hang, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's
Columbus
many courses here.
Columbus can hang with any of these places.
Scioto, Muirfield, et cetera.
Columbus Country Club hosted the PGA long back when.
Yep.
Scioto is confined from a space standpoint of kind of like the Masters until they just started shoving people with their elbows out of the way so they could make the course bigger. Their neighbors and stuff. But
I think Scioto's hosting the U.S. Senior Open.
Senior Open, yeah.
Okay.
But next, I've been to Pebble Beach. I've walked onto Pebble Beach a couple of times when I was out there for something else, because you can just go down the beach and walk up. I think what green is that? Walked up on like number 9 or something. It's right there by. Well, there are several holes right on the water, but you can just walk up on it like it's a public park. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Cool.
But I digress. Let's get back to what we were talking about.
All right, so
what were we talking about? So anyway, real quick, my take on it is the 4 majors are set in my mind for the foreseeable future. It used to be the U.S. Open, the U.S. Amateur, the British Open, and the British Amateur. And I never understood those being the 4 majors, except that Bobby Jones won them all, right? So back in the day, when you need to get attention for a golfer, but because these days, who could play? Everybody in the TPC field most of them could not play in the U.S. Amateur, right?
Right. No.
So
what's right?
How could that be a major if these guys can't play in it because they're professionals?
Yeah,
they're professional.
They are.
So I think you stick it where it is, and then you make these arguments every year about the Muirfield and how good it is, and because really the thing about Muirfield is they really want they can make Muirfield as hard as they want to make it if they want to.
Well, Jack's made it harder.
I know, but I mean, just
start out
the way you make it harder, just narrow those fairways just a little bit more, and then you're hitting out of that recycled steel wool they call the rough. You know what I mean? You've played there.
Yeah.
It's like
we played together one time.
Oh yeah, Scarlet is like that too, man.
I love Scarlet.
When the rough is up,
I take Scarlet.
It's like you're swinging through wire when you're in the rough. I mean, it's brutal. By the way, how about Neil Shipley making that hole-in-one, the first hole-in-one?
TGL. Yeah.
I watched I didn't see it the other night, but I watched it because we get on simulators every now and then, and it's simulated golf. But I thought that was pretty cool, didn't you?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the first one. I mean, I think Tiger was there. So
yeah, but anyway. I mean, the bottom line is Neil Shipley. I tweeted this a couple of years ago. He's got all the tools to be pretty damn good, but it always comes down to when you get to that level, consistency.
Oh, well.
I mean, and the ability to sprint on occasion, like Scott Scheffler did at the Waste Management. Dude, right. He wasn't going to make the cut at one point on Friday, but he barely made the cut, and he was one shot off, right?
Yeah.
One shot off the lead, or would have made the playoff on Sunday. I mean, this guy is a phenomenon. You ever get a chance to go watch him in the Memorial Tournament's a place to go see him. Go watch this guy play because, there's no rhyme or reason with that footwork that he's a great golfer. But you know why he is? Because he delivers the club face to the ball.
Yes, he does.
On a ridiculously consistent, egg-cracking basis.
The ultimate ball striker. Did you see this the last couple of days, how there's now comparisons with Tiger? I didn't hear what they were saying or talking about, but it's a thing. Accomplishment. Yeah.
And where he could go.
Okay.
It's really funny because I'm sitting there watching that vid, which I like stuff like this. I got little kids. Matter of fact, we're babysitting my 2 grandsons starting tonight through the weekend because it looks like their sister is on the way.
Is that number?
That'll be my 3rd grandkid, and so we're all anxious.
He's going to break the tie.
All anxious and fired up until until they're there in front of you, you know, you're always anxious about that stuff. Even when I had kids, right? You were too, right?
No doubt about it.
I'm so I love my sister-in-law, what's it called? Not stepdaughter.
Sister-in-law.
No, my
daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law.
Okay.
God, what's going on, man? I love my daughter-in-law Steph so much, and my son Kyle. They're pretty fired up. But
that's cool.
You know,
that's really cool.
Yeah, we kept trying. We had 2 boys. My wife and I did, and then. Then I thought I got, you know, really attractive again at one point, but no, it was my wife. She's one more shot at a daughter. Yeah. And then we had a daughter. It's almost the same spacing as my 2 grandsons. And then their sister, but we'll see. I mean, wow. I wish Steph all the best luck and great feelings and all the positive thoughts you can think of. But anyway, there was something else I wanted to talk to you about before we played these videos. Cause I really I hope people don't get upset about me playing an Ohio State baseball coach's video or women's softball video, because man, the effort that's put in by those sports,
it's the same,
like Nick Myers and his team, the lacrosse team, right on down the line. The dedication there is
the same.
Yeah. Is it like football? No, because in football, guys run into each other and beat the hell out of each other. So you have to prepare for that,
buddy. If you want to play lacrosse, good.
Same thing.
My son
had not on the same level as football, though. Let's don't get obtuse here.
No, I don't mean that. But when the ball's going 100 miles an hour and it hit my son's helmet too many times, he had to give up the game. He had too many concussions. So
they didn't just give him smelling salts and get back in there.
He got knocked out in practice a couple times, but he never told us.
Exactly.
And we found that out later. And
can bring problems down the road, as
Mama
you know.
wasn't happy.
No, dude. I'm at field day in Demopolis Elementary School, my first grade. I'm out, and we got one of the male teachers, you know, would coach PE or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't really PE when you're in the 4th grade, but he's hitting us all fly balls and stuff. And little Tim May standing there around second base, and he hits me a line drive. It's a softball line drive. I put my glove here, and the ball hit here. And to this day, to this very second, I still see that ball. But I still see it right there. But the next thing I knew, I'm on our couch. 1205 Southmont Drive, Demopolis, Alabama. My mom, they'd called my mom. She came and got me, took me home. I guess, you can, maybe you're not still out, but you feel like, you know what I mean? Yeah. All I remember was seeing that ball, and it's like anesthesia. You ever had anesthesia? I've only been put under one time in my life.
I've been
getting my wisdom teeth cut out
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And you know how you 99, 98, 97, and then you're waking up. And then you're waking up.
Yeah, it's over.
Even though you've been there for 3 hours, 2 hours. Anyway, this softball hit me, and next thing I know, it's my mom, and she's leaning down. She go, like my brother Mike, Tim, can you hear me, Tim? Are you okay, Tim? And to this day, I have no memory of anything from the softball being right there to my mom's face right in front of me, and stuff. And yeah, but that was back when that was back when it wasn't a concussion. It was just that Alabama Notre Dame game and for the national championship at the Sugar Bowl way back in 73, I think it was a season, whatever it was. If you ever watched the video of that, and you can watch replay the whole game. I think it was it Chris Schenkel was doing the play-by-play, I think, but
could have been.
And anyway, something happens on the field in the second half, and then you look and you're looking, and there's an Alabama player laying on the field, spread eagle. I mean, out. And they said, well, there's a break in the action. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
Whereas today, they would have the zip cam or a drone hovering over him, and then following the ambulance to the hospital. You understand what I'm saying?
With 6
to
cameras,
see, whatever. Whereas back then, I think he played later in the game. I don't remember the player's name, but they just gave him smelling salts.
Yep.
So in a lot of respects, a lot of us, ladies and gentlemen, older folk are just lucky to be here, right?
That's right.
Anyway,
we've been knocked in the head.
Anyway, let's
let's get to Justin. Is it ladies first? Or are you
no?
going
Let's
with
go. Let's go with
baseball?
Justin Haire first.
Okay.
I like both of these folks. I got to meet them last year when they were first named, as the new coaches. And Justin had a tough time his first season. 13-37 was his season. But like I said, they don't hire you because things are going great.
No.
They hire you because you got to fix stuff.
They had a coach who knew the game well versed, but he stayed he stayed 2 years, I think.
Yeah, but like as Justin gets to in this conversation, we can talk all we want to about strategy, about work ethic, and everything else, but you got to get the players, man. And you get the guys that fit in your program, but you got to get good guys. I mean, as in great baseball players to really make a run, to really be in the consideration. And we've seen teams from the Big Ten make runs, right?
Michigan's done it.
Yeah.
A couple of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Previously.
So anyway, let's get to what
all right.
Justin Haire had to say.
What's going to be different this year from last season with this baseball team? That's a wide open, straightforward question, but I don't know anywhere else to answer, because once you kind of entrench things, get rid of some old things, bring some new things in, that takes a season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest change for us is just from a personnel standpoint. Like, these guys, from 1 to 35, they're all bought in 100% to making Buckeye baseball, back to where it needs to go. They want to be part of the group that stamps a legacy of, this is the group that helped get it back on track to where it needs to be. And how fast that happens is beyond our control to a certain extent. But these guys are 100% bought in to leaving a legacy of hard work and urgency and attention to detail and loving each other and putting Buckeye baseball back on the map.
Dumb question, but why shouldn't Ohio State baseball be the same as Ohio State football, from the standpoint of perpetual, perennial contender? That's an easy question to ask, but what is it that you have to establish, I guess, or reestablish?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's, golly, that could be a mile wide and a mile deep on that question and answer.
But I think finally, right?
Yeah, I mean, but again, I think it all goes back to the people that you have in your organization. And so for us, it starts on the foundational piece of, man, we need to make sure our organization is really tight. We've got high level coaches that can develop guys that can recruit at a high level. Then the people that we're bringing in, right, need to buy into that challenge, into that vision for what we're doing. We are where we are. We have what we have. We can certainly improve from a facility standpoint, from a development standpoint, all those pieces, and we're working very hard to do that. But we got to have people in the room that want to make it great, right? And so making sure that the guys that are in the room, the guys that the guys that choose to come here are here for the right reasons, right? Guys show up over there at the Woody Hayes Athletic Complex to be great at college football. We want guys showing up to Bill Davis Stadium to be great at college baseball. Not great go-outers on Friday night or hey, great fans at football games. All that's great. Hey, we've got a great city and we've got a great university and we've got a great football program, but we need guys that want to make Ohio State baseball great. And so the more we have those guys in the room, the better we're going to be.
See, I thought that's what I've been paying attention from afar and stuff. It looks like y'all have become much more of a factor from a recruiting standpoint, from a transfer standpoint and stuff. How hard is that in this age of the portal and everything else, the NIL and stuff? How hard is it to be that kind of player?
I think like
that player for players.
Sure, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I think it can be a challenge. I think some people could probably perceive it as a challenge. I think we are excited about that opportunity because it's maybe an area that Ohio State baseball hasn't been in a long time, just a force on the recruiting trail. We're going to do our due diligence on the recruiting, on the evaluation side. But for us, it's about making sure that we're finding the right fits for our program as well, right? If we recruit at a high level, if we develop our guys at a high level, if we compete and win championships, and we treat our players fairly and with a bunch of respect, man, like this is going to be a really fun program to play in. And if all of that is the case, everybody in the country is going to be answering their phone when Ohio State baseball calls.
Yeah.
And for us, that's the most important piece. Like, we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to work our tails off on the trail and make sure that we're putting the right guys in the room. And then we're going to coach the heck out of them and help them become better men and better players.
I was talking to Kirin Kumar about the challenges of this time of the year for you. I mean, there's a foot of snow out there, you know. It may get up to 50 but then it's going to go back down to 30, you know, later in the week. My point is, this first part of the year, y'all are always on the road playing.
Sure.
I would think that's a tough thing, but also it's a good thing because it kind of helps you, I don't know, get the unity, whatever you want to call it, the camaraderie of the team, right?
Yep.
Explain what the positives are about that.
Yeah, again, I mean, everybody's...
Besides just getting to play.
Right, yeah. I mean, again, everybody's going to face challenges and tons of things that are outside of their control. It's how you respond to those, right? And so for us, it's the opportunity to go and get on an airplane and go and practice and be in a hotel and eat meals together and spend time together outside of our facility, outside of looking across the diamond at the guys in the same color uniform. We get to play somebody else. All of that is a net positive for us because it's us getting to spend time together and gel and create that brotherhood mentality and environment that when it comes to April and May and June is really hard to break, right? And so all of that is forged in the challenges that we overcome here over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks as we move into the season, and that makes it fun and makes it a great challenge for us.
Hey, where do y'all travel on the West Coast this year? I haven't looked at the schedule.
We go to Washington.
Is that the only one?
That's the only one.
Only one? Yeah, well, you go to Nebraska? No. That's
Nebraska's at home. Yeah, Nebraska's
no, I was going to say, that's halfway.
That's
so
right. That's right. That's the real Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. And stuff. But so for you guys especially, do you feel like the schedule is conducive for what you want to get accomplished as the year goes on? You follow my drift. I mean, because I would think you have a lot of snow outs or rain outs and stuff early and things and stuff. How do you personally as a coach deal with those kind of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to be adaptable. You know, I think that adversity becomes our strength, right? Like, we're going to be more adaptable than a lot of other places. We're going to be able to overcome, circumstances that are way outside of our control. Like, that gets people off track a lot. So our ability to handle that and still stay the course and still fight through that adversity and overcome it and be stronger on the other end, that becomes our strength over the course of time. And so just continually like rounding back to that for me, for our staff, for our players, is that, hey, these things are outside of our control. We can either be a victim or we can be forged by this adversity, and we're going to be forged by it, and we're going to work our way through it. And when we get to the other side, we're going to be a lot stronger, and that's going to end up being a strength for us as we move into April, May, and June.
Does the cold weather? I'm just going to ask one more question about that because I think it's like hammering on a point. But is it toughest on a pitching rotation and stuff where you? Maybe you might lose a weekend. You might go 2 days, whatever, have to wait and stuff. Is that
Sure.
Is that the toughest challenge?
I think it can be because those guys are so regimented, right? And so if you continually are going from a 3-game set Friday, Saturday, Sunday to, hey, we're bumping to a doubleheader on Friday, and so sometimes you've got to have a little bit more depth when it comes to that because those guys that maybe on Saturday on full rest, maybe they're going to give you 5 or 6. Well, they got to shorten up. Maybe on Friday they're only going to give you 3 or 4, right? And so you got to have that one extra guy, right, and 2 extra guys, and have a little bit of extra depth, and you got to be able to cover yourself a little bit more that way. Again, is it a challenge? Yes. Can you figure out some of that? Yes. Does it provide opportunity for guys that maybe wouldn't get opportunities in other programs? Absolutely. Right? Like, we're going to have more guys that get more innings and get more appearances than some other places. And so having that opportunity to pitch and pitch often certainly helps us even with some of the challenges of the weather.
I asked you all, I go on to follow up on something. What really kind of, as the season went on last year, what really came right with this team, in your opinion? And how do you follow up on that aspect?
Sure.
Of it?
Sure. I think that there was, a pretty good separation of, hey, there's guys that are here for the right reasons, and there's guys that care about Ohio State baseball, and
Filling out process.
yes, yeah, and made their intentions pretty clear, and so I think like those guys that are still here, those guys that went through those challenges last year and persevered and made it to this fall and are going to be, on the plane as we take off on Thursday, those guys are going to have a real appreciation for fighting through a lot of adversity and knowing that they made the right decision about being here and being part of this and being part of the revival of Buckeye
Hey,
baseball.
by the way, where y'all headed? Thursday?
Pensacola.
Pensacola.
Yeah, Pensacola. Yeah,
Right,
70 and sunny, baby.
On the beach. No, I'm
That's
just
right.
messing with you. You probably want to see the beach. Hey, last couple things. Who are a couple guys that are new or that people might want to keep tabs on this season? Stuff that's got you excited. I guess.
Yeah. I would say on the pitching staff, obviously like Gavin Kuznetsky and Zach Sigmund, those are going to be guys that pitched a decent amount for us last year. Some new guys. We've got freshman Jude Fisher that's going to start on the weekends for us from Akron. He's high talented young man, super mature for his age. He's going to be exciting. Pierce Herrenbrook is a junior college transfer from Lakeland Junior College in Illinois. Again, on the mound, going to be a guy that has a chance to be really good for us. Chris Domke is coming off injury. He was on the team last year, but was out for the year. Has been really good in the preseason, and so those are three guys on the mound. I think that man are going to be worth watching that are new, which is really exciting. And then, position player wise, it's a lot of new, right? And so that's exciting. There's guys. Miles Vanden Heuvel is a junior college transfer from Eastern Arizona State. He's got tons of tools. He's up to 92 off the mound. He's going to probably play center field for us, can run, can do a lot of different things. Gavin West and Dane Harvey kind of on the corners of the infield, both junior college transfers that are big physical guys that have a chance to hit the ball a long way and give us some pop in the middle of the order. And so there's two or three guys that way. And man, there's I could go on and on about everybody and all that, but those are, kind of three guys on each side of the ball that I think will be really exciting for our fans.
I'm not trying to blow smoke here, but it appears that already in a year or so you've made this sort of an attractive destination.
Sure.
Stuff. Has that been a lot of hard work, sleepless nights? How would you describe what it's like talking to a guy who's at Eastern Arizona State to come to Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the
Now,
point.
if it was football play in the snow.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's the point, right? I think that's part of the fun of taking a job like this and coming to such a great institution and such a great athletic department and such a storied program, right? I mean, they've been to 4 College World Series and 22 NCAA tournaments. It's time for Ohio State baseball to get back to that kind of standard, right? And so to find guys from anywhere in the country that want to buy into that vision and buy into to being part of the group that helps get it back to that standard has been really fun. And then having an administration with Ross and Sean Richard and everybody in the Fawcett Center that's behind us and sees that vision and wants us to continue to push things forward, help us get the facility, updated and a ton of things that way.
Yeah.
The momentum's real. Right now, we got to go do our job and win games and compete for championships, but the momentum's real, and it's going to be a destination for a lot of champions.
What do you think, man?
I wish this guy, when I read the resume and Campbell resonated to me because, as I recall, Campbell was in a regional at Mississippi State and almost took out the host, which was in Stark Vegas there. And I don't know. This might have been so long ago. He didn't play there. He played at BG and later somewhere else.
Yeah.
But this guy gets it, man. His team was so good. And Notre Dame was there, Mississippi State, Campbell. By the way, do you know the Campbell nickname for the mascot?
Soups? Yeah, the Soups. It's a big can of soup, like that Stanford tree, right?
That's a good answer. They're actually the Fighting Camels.
Oh,
but to me, as I've been here 30 years, and every time a new baseball coach comes
don't
in,
mess with a camel. He'll spit on you. Go ahead now.
That's right. But I would say, man, I wish you well. College baseball, where I came from, is just so important. But if you're going to grow Northern baseball, you've got to either advance or host a regional, because that's when the weather is finally nice enough.
Yeah.
And Ohio State hosted a regional that Mississippi State played in here.
Right.
But they, it just seemed like every time Bob Todd's team had to go off into some hinterland, Auburn or somewhere to play. But I wish him well. And the other thing that excited me when I was reading the story about him is that they're going to feature some games at Huntington Park.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to get fans in there to watch college baseball, because you can have a little more going on at Huntington Park than Bill Davis. But I wish him well, and hopefully he can find a number of good players. And last year he beat NC State, who was ranked, and he beat Oregon 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Oregon's playing in a regional every doggone year. So Justin Haire, give him hell.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's Clay Hall, ladies and gentlemen, with his give him hell. And just found out the Campbell Fighting Camels. Yeah. I learned a lot in that little minute and a half there. Soliloquy by Clay Hall, the incomparable.
Yeah, right.
Right? God broke the mold when he made you, didn't he?
Not hardly.
Yeah.
I don't think.
He cursed when he broke my mold.
You're the original.
Never again.
You're the original.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to hear from. Do we still have time for Coach?
Yeah, let's go.
Kumar?
Yeah,
Okay.
Coach Kumar, Kirin Kumar, the Ohio State women's softball team. Well, I don't know why you just don't call it the Ohio State softball team,
right?
Because there's only one. They opened the season last week down in Boca Raton, little get together where they have these, where the northern teams go south and play some southern teams, and
they're 2-2.
Yeah, they're 2-2, and bottom line is they went 45-14 and won last year.
Yeah.
Made the NCAA tournament, but more than that, they became the sluggingest team.
Amazing.
The sluggingest team in the country.
Yeah.
And it's all based, hitting all these home runs. Jasmine Burns was the catcher that had the great year, and now is at Texas Tech.
That's a crying shame.
But the bottom line is they came out swinging, man, and by swinging, her you'll hear her talk about it here again, because I did a couple of things with her last year on my previous iteration as a podcaster. But basically, they just go by the golden rule of hitting doubles, because if you're hitting the ball on the nose,
right,
and driving it
in the gap,
then you're going to get home runs. They're going to follow. That sounds pretty simple, but it's not that simple, because she had the same kind of success from a hitting standpoint at Miami of Ohio before she came to Ohio State last year. And I think she's impressive, man. What's your take on her?
Well, the stats just jump off the page.
No, I'm just talking about the way her approach. She has she's a real serious person who gets your jokes, though. You understand what I'm saying?
She's a technician.
Yeah.
That day we got to chat with her coming out of the Woody, and I think
that was off the record.
It was, but we were discussing the departure, I think, of that.
Yeah, I just wanted you to leave out the part where she just talked about you and I being the smartest, greatest people of all times.
Yeah, how she adored us.
No, that wasn't it at all.
Tim, 147 homers.
Yeah.
And for the first time in NCAA history, 4 players with 20 homers or more.
That
nuts. Is Jack. That's the launching pad, man.
If you're a little kid and you catch that home run, do you get to keep it
one time?
Big softball, do you get to keep it?
No, but think back to Little League and junior or whatever.
Yeah.
You hit a home run, especially as little as I was. Good night.
Oh, that was big. Turn on that bad boy.
5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing.
I used to do PA for my one of my sons' baseball team at times, and I remember that my favorite line was, when there was a foul ball, it's another, what was their nickname? Wildcats. It's another Hilliard Wildcats souvenir. And then I'd go like this: please return the ball.
You can't keep it. You wouldn't let them.
Yeah,
keep
because we'd go to Astro games when I was growing up in the Astrodome, and somebody did a foul ball, and the guy would go, "It's another Houston Astros souvenir."
I like it.
And if you caught it in the air, they would bring you a symbolic contract to sign as a honorary Houston Astro because you caught it.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. I remember J.R. Richard.
Yeah. Well, even before that, man, Jimmy
Yeah.
Wynn, the toy cannon.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Morgan.
Morgan.
But then as you grew older, you realized that the Houston Astros were pretty much at that point the AAA team for like the for like the Cincinnati Reds and stuff. Because when Joe Morgan got traded, it never made any sense to me.
Yeah.
As a
why he was
fan, why should I keep rooting for these guys if they're going to trade their best players? You know,
I have
Rusty Staub.
Yeah, I haven't gotten over the fact they're in the American League.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean,
it's crazy.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are
isn't
you
it?
kidding me?
Anyway.
Yeah. So tee it up.
Yeah. By the way, real quick trivia before we tee it up. The first event that the May family, after we moved to Texas in August of 1965, we went to the Astrodome. It was the first year of the Astrodome. It opened. And what a magnificent, what a magnificent place.
Yeah.
The first event we saw in the Astrodome was what? Just one wild guess. Just real quick. No dead air. First event.
Concert.
No, close to it. Billy Graham Crusade.
No kidding.
And the place was packed. My mom and dad, were super Southern Baptist religious and stuff. And as the old saying goes, the May family, man, the first 15 years of my life, if the doors were open at the church, at our church, we were walking through it, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I won't get on that because I am probably the opposite of that person now. I mean, I still believe in things, but the church aspect of things got soured on it. I won't tell that story because that's nobody's business. But all
right.
But I digress.
No, I was like, I was there, and I've come back, Tim.
Yeah, I know.
I have come back.
We're going to talk about that in just a minute. I want to get to this little interview I did with Kirin Kumar the other day. Thanks to our buddy Michael Bassford and that group putting together a couple of interview opportunities with these coaches because they're busy, just like Ryan Day's busy.
Sure.
Yeah. Kirin Kumar, you're into this now. Y'all had such a blaze of glory, and I thought it was a blaze of glory last season with the home run hitting contest and everything else on the team and stuff. Into this year now and stuff. What is sort of your focus for this softball team? Take the next step. What's sort of the motto?
Yeah, we don't really have a motto. We just want to play Ohio State softball, whatever it might be, because this team is different than last year.
Yeah.
In the end, our goal is to score more runs than the other team. So however that happens is it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
So we just got to figure that out, try to figure out what our identity is for this season.
Yeah, everybody, when I do pregame football shows and stuff, they go, what's the key to this game? I said, it's to score more points than the other team.
Exactly.
So, what did you guys, y'all went on a trip to, where were you, Boca Raton?
Yep.
Yeah, over the weekend and stuff. What in a nutshell, what did you kind of find out about your team just on this initial
I think
foray together?
They work really well together. I mean, that's the big thing. I think there's things that we need to work on defensively a little bit. Pitching wise, we had a lot of walks, and it might be because they were on dirt for the first time.
Yeah.
But I think that this trip just showed we were ready to play somebody else than just to play each other, right? And so just seeing we have a whole new infield, so trying to figure out that dynamic and how they work together, and we got to see that, and it was very promising.
Yeah. There's a foot of snow on the ground right outside this building.
Yep.
I don't know if you know that or not.
No, wasn't sure.
You do. Y'all work out at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center? Give people an idea of what y'all do, what y'all did to get ready to make this trip, but also how, I don't know, confining, is that the right term of you feel right now,
Yeah, so we're an outdoor sport.
Yeah.
We want to be outside, but we're fortunate enough to have the Woody Hayes and to be able to practice in there, and not a lot of teams get that. So We were able to do that. We have indoor batting cages that we can hit in, and so we were able to have some moving parts and do that. But it's different being outside and being on the dirt, getting reads off a bat, things like that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to give you excuses at all, because you're not an excuse maker. But does it put you behind in the spring when you are late winter, when you have to basically have those challenges?
No, I don't think it does. I think it might. I think what it does is just show that it's okay, but it doesn't put us behind.
Yeah.
People might think that because there's things that happen in a game that we weren't able to work on.
Yeah.
And that's just something that they're going to learn with experience. So, like, if you have an experienced team, it doesn't matter if you're inside, outside. But when you have a young team, a new infield, you see that happen a little bit, but it doesn't put us behind. We'll get there.
Give me a preview. Who do you expect to step up? Because y'all lost some leadership, obviously, along the way. So who do you expect to step up this spring? I mean, who do you really need to lean on this team?
I think it's a little bit of everybody, right? Everybody has a role, but we had a freshman at shortstop, and shortstop is a big deal, and she did a great job. To see that,
and what's her name, by the way?
Sarah Tar.
Yeah.
Right, and so she did a great job there. It was fun to watch her play, and then obviously we have Abby Wilhelm, who is a transfer from Missouri, who had a thrower at first base this weekend because of injuries right before the game, and she stepped up at big time there. And then Haley Lang, who didn't play last year, who started this year, the first 4 games. So I think those are we're going to have to see, like, those 3 new step up and help us out.
I'm headed a direction with this interview, by the way. I hope you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do want to get your take on something that you and I talked about one time, just shooting the bull. But when you lose a Cammy Quarter, when you install a new starter at shortstop, is it sort of like you want that to be that person for the next 4 years? You understand what I'm saying? Because, for example, that is one of the leaders of a team.
So that's what you do want to establish, especially the shortstop area in general.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the goal is, if you're doing your job, is to bring in people that are going to make you better, right? And so, however that is, if it's a sophomore who gets better, or but you do want longevity in that role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
Kimmy was there for 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's so valuable. You can't put a price tag on it. How about a catcher? I mean, from the standpoint of losing a young lady to Texas Tech.
I think that just allows someone else to step up and play a role. We got a transfer from UCLA right now that's injured, so we're just waiting. And then we have a freshman catcher. We have Emma Tolley, a junior, and then Haley Lang, who's a junior also, who's kind of stepped up and kind of has leading the pack right now.
Yeah.
But nothing is set in stone.
How do you as a coach roll with that punch of losing a player, though, of that magnitude?
I don't. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, we make people better. We've made people better.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Next up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's basically how we're gonna make someone else better. We made people who graduated better. We made people who leave better. So who's up? Who's willing to step up next?
You, your career is this sport though now and stuff. The fact that people can go out and, I don't know, purchase is not the right term, but lure up and coming stars or stars and stuff. How do you plan from one year to the next, or do you just plan this year?
Yeah, you worry about the team this year.
Yeah.
You make them the best that they can be. You don't worry about anybody else. If they want to be here, they're going to be here, and they're going to be great. So that's how I see that. If people have to leave or purchase, then my take is that then you can't develop them.
Yeah. Does it trouble you about the future of the sport though, where that stuff can happen?
I don't think so.
I'm dancing around
Yeah,
it. You
no,
don't know what
I
I'm
don't.
asking about.
I don't think I don't see them. I think, if people have to cheat, they're not better than somebody else.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, you do things the right way, you can sleep at night, and you go from there, and then you do the best you can to give them the best experience that they can have, that they would pick us all over again.
Gotcha. Last couple things. I was asking you a while ago about the snow. You got snow in your practice field probably, right, or on your field right now and stuff. Is it tough to get in the swing of things when the weather's not right?
No, because I think you love. Yeah. No, I think when you love to play softball, the fact that we have the Woody Hayes, that we can do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's not ideal not to be outside and be that, but in the end, when you love to play softball with who you're with, it doesn't matter.
But that Woody Hayes is like probably pretty structured from a schedule standpoint,
yes, it is.
right? You got to be in and you got to be out and stuff.
So we have to be efficient when we play practice.
So how long do you get in there? An hour and a half?
So we get 2 hours, but because we share with baseball, we get 3.
Yeah.
So we split 50-50.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And what is the one restriction? I would think it's you can't hit high fly balls.
Yeah, so you can't. There's no like fly ball communication. Reads for the outfield.
Yeah.
Reads off of that, and then no dirt, right? So like that's the biggest restriction. You don't have full field to work on cuts and relays or things like that, but we come up with cool ways to do things.
How do you know right now, or do you have a sense right now that y'all will be the Bombers like you were last year?
No.
Yeah.
I never had that sense.
I was going to say, you've been around for a long time. When does it sort of like click that
never.
that this
I don't
team
ever.
could beat? You understand?
Yeah, no. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Our goal is to score more runs than the other team. However that happens, that's what we're going to do. So, we had a slapper in the DP role this weekend.
Yeah.
People think like I don't recruit slappers. Well, why was she our DP?
Yeah.
I mean, she hit 670 this weekend. In the end, we just want to score more runs than the other team, and that's it.
But give people, I'll ask you this before, give people some kind of idea of why your teams hit home runs.
We just swing the bat hard, and we want to hit doubles. We want to lead the nation in doubles, and if we do that right, then anything can happen.
Yeah. Swing for the stars and just clear the fence.
Yeah. No, we hit doubles. We want to hit doubles.
What is your last thing? What is your sense about this season and stuff? Who is a team you've got your eye on in the Big Ten? Who's a team you've got your eye on nationally that, not that you want to be them, but this is the level you got to get to? Yeah,
I mean, I think we want to win a national championship, right? And so it's those 8 teams that get to the World Series.
Yeah.
But we don't look ahead. We have to play our game, because if we look ahead, those games won't matter if you don't take care of business early in the season. So we just want to play our game. We don't worry about anybody else. But as a coach, you want to get to those teams that make the World Series on a consistent basis.
I always appreciate anybody sitting through a question and answer session with me. Sometimes I have crisp questions. Sometimes I have, those fries you can get that aren't crispy. They're what they call them, original, where they just cook the potatoes, and I used to make French fries for a burger chef, man. It was a 3-step process. You had 4 steps. You had to put the potatoes in the peeler. They'd come out, and then you had to wash them, and you wash them again, and then we had this big chopping machine. You'd put 1 potato at a time in there. Bingo. And it would make those potatoes, and they were basically as good as McDonald's potatoes, and they were fresh, man. I mean, an hour earlier they were sitting in a bag over here, right? But anyway, the bottom line is, I like usually to ask crispy questions, but sometimes I get those other ones, those stale ones. But Kirin Kumar, man. I mean, dude, that was no joke last year. They were
incredible.
Last season. They were the real deal.
Heck of a run.
Yeah, and they got beat.
Was that in Knoxville?
Yeah, they got beat in Knoxville by Tennessee, and Tennessee had that tremendous pitcher who got an advantage because she was really letting go of the ball about 5 feet in front of the mound, because she had those long legs and come off and stuff. But but it was still a tremendous season by them, and like I said, they're filling in some cracks, but we'll see where they go as this season goes on. And by the way, you brought it up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but this is depending on where you lived, what side of the world you lived on, we're in. Golly, that's a lot of prepositions thrown in there. As we record this, it's February 11th, 2026, which is in Tokyo, the anniversary of Buster Douglas shocking the world. Buster Douglas from Westerville, Columbus, Ohio, shocking the world by knocking out Mike Tyson. We've got a little freeze frame there in the back. I'm not sure what we could even show, from a video standpoint or right standpoint, but this is a video or a still frame off of ESPN Archives video. I did a couple of interviews with them over the years, commemorating that fight, because I got the privilege of going over and covering it.
Yeah,
and I also predicted, the upset or whatever you want to call it, but in the paper, I said unless you step in, unless Mike Tyson throws some kind of wild punch and knocks, and he almost did, the 8th round.
Yeah.
The 9th round was, the long count, as they call it. The 9th round was the greatest heavyweight boxing round I've ever watched, of Tyson coming out to finish Buster, Buster withstanding it, and by the end of the round, beating up Mike Tyson. And, of course, in the 10th round, knocks him out. And, wow. As I told Buster, one of his benefits, or not benefit, but one of the many anniversary things they've had to commemorate it, as I said from the podium, I said, what happened with you after that fight? You lose immediately to Evander Holyfield, and you're never the world champion again. And a lot of other things happened to him in his life, but they can never take away the greatest upset in boxing history. There's only one of those, and that was that. That was it.
You were there.
Now, the reason I picked it, and I said this to Jeremy Schaap and stuff when they came here to do the latest thing, it was 42-1 or whatever it was. And, of course, they interviewed me extensively. And one of the things was, why did you pick Buster? And I said, well, number one, I said, I was really embedded with the Buster Douglas team, like John Johnson. Yep. The guy really made it happen off the court, so to speak, or out of the ring. John Johnson's second, J.D. McCauley, right on down the line, the guys that were involved there. I said, and he's from Columbus. I said, if he wasn't from Columbus, I would have never been there. Right. If he'd have been from Cleveland, I wouldn't have been there covering that fight in Tokyo. I said, but you could see, Buster was in the best shape of his life. And when he was in the best shape of his life, his dad was named Bill Dynamite Douglas, who had tremendous power in both hands. And Buster, when he was motivated and in shape, was as good as anybody in the world at that point. And
to watch this mauling in the 10th round.
My
goodness.
He started beating up Tyson from the get-go. And as I said, he took a page out of Frank Bruno's book. Frank Bruno had fought. I got to cover that fight too, because Buster fought on the undercard of that fight. But Frank Bruno at the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is right next to the, then it was the Hilton. Before that was the International, where Elvis Presley, starred, and stuff. But it was the now it's the Westgate. But they had a convention center right there on it with a nice little arena in it. And Frank Bruno from Great Britain fought Tyson, and I think it was a 5-round fight, but Bruno hit him threw jabs a couple times, and as soon as he threw the jab, Tyson would sort of stop. He'd be bobbing and weaving, and you hit him in the face with a jab, and he kind of stopped, which meant in John Johnson and the way they looked, they scouted this fight like a football. Sure, like you scout a football team. Where's his strengths, but where are his weaknesses? And they saw, well, heck, if you just throw another jab, if you come back with a right, or you just throw 2 jabs, whatever. The point was, don't be afraid of the guy. Right. Buster was not afraid of the guy. As I wrote later, he bullied the bully. He did. And but that's what Buster did that no one else had the guts. I'm telling you, buddy, as I've always said about big time fights, you're in there with 2 gloves on and you're standing in your underwear. There is nothing between you and the other guy.
That's right.
Yeah. There's nobody blocking for you. There's nobody throwing you the ball and so he had the guts to throw 2, 3, 4 jabs, follow with a right cross or a right straight right, or occasionally throw an uppercut, but mainly, and he beat him up 5th round. Tyson's eye, I think it was his left eye, was all beat up from Buster. Had just tattooed him. Buster was extremely accurate.
Yeah, with the punch
that night. Yeah, I mean, accuracy counts in boxing like it does in baseball pitching or football throwing,
punting.
It's the same. Yeah, you don't want to just be throwing punches. You want them landing. And I remember, the Tyson corner, he had a brand new corner group because they had kind of split with his previous guys as well. Everybody knows the story, but the guy, pulls out a condom from his one of his corner guys and puts ice in it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have an inswell, which was a stainless steel piece of where you can rub a guy's eye when it's, whatever. They had a
puffy.
And somebody said it wasn't a condom, it was a rubber glove. And my line was, well, it was the first rubber glove I ever saw with just one finger. But the bottom line was, Buster won that fight. I remember asking Tyson afterwards, I said, man, you've knocked out 30 straight guys. What's it like to get knocked out? And he said, in essence, he had a real good answer. He goes, listen, my friend, you don't judge a man by his successes. You judge a man by the way he comes back from adversity, and I will be back and stuff. And I thought that was a pretty good answer from a guy who just got knocked out. But you all know Don King. Donald Trump was there, had flown over because they were going to host the Buster, the Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield fight. They announced it over there. And I remember asking one of the guys behind it, Dan Duva and Shelley Finkel. I said, well, what happens if Buster wins? Does he get the same fight? And they just started laughing. And then in that 5th round, like I'm talking about, that 5th round, in between the 5th and 6th round, Dan Duva, there's a no smoking facility. The Tokyo Dome was even then, 1990. And Dan Duva's walking up and down the aisle right next to me. I'm sitting on the end of the aisle, and he and Evander Holyfield were sitting right there in the next section. And he's walking me, and he's got a cigarette. He's got a heater going, and he goes, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't. And I wanted to grab him. I wanted to grab him and go, you better believe it, man. It's happening.
Yeah.
But, Mike Tyson still almost won the fight because of just how innate great he was. Because if you ever, I walked into one of his fights one time from behind him, just because he was built to throw the uppercut. I mean, just to feel people, how they reacted to him as they saw him coming down. I'm a little ways away, but like from here to that corner, but he was different, man. He was, those guys that come along in sports that are just,
he humiliated so many people,
but he was imposing.
Yeah.
He was scary.
Oh, he was.
And people loved watching him knock people out. What Michael Spinks, remember he knocked him out, whoever it was. Man. And Michael Spinks supposedly said after that fight, he goes, I threw my 2 best jabs, and he walked through them like he was walking through rain. One of the great lines ever. And but Buster was the first guy to really truly stand up to him. Yeah. But what made me mad about that 42-1 is they said they basically we're talking about no one in the world saw this coming except this cab driver or whatever. And I read a story seeing it coming, and I thought, it kind of upset me, man. Jeremy Schaap and those guys. And supposedly he was on Dan Patrick later talking about it, and he goes, well, no one predicted this, and supposedly I didn't see this, but I was told that Jeremy Schaap said something like, well, Tim May, a sports writer, he predicted it, but he was from Buster's hometown. Up yours, so to speak. I do like Jeremy Schaap, though. But I mean, are you kidding me? That's okay. Whatever. You didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, what a time that
Good
was,
stuff.
man. I lost about 8 pounds in Tokyo because there was nothing there I wanted to eat except these fake hamburgers they had. The place smelled like half-cooked fish.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting, but all kinds of things went on. But anyway, John Johnson helped make it happen. John, anyway, he's a legend in all kinds of ways. And his son, John Johnson II, I shared a hotel room over there.
The attorney.
Yeah. Yes. And we had great experiences. But I won't get into all those because we're done with this with this podcast. Maybe next year we'll do that. We'll talk about my experience.
A whole hour.
Yeah, about getting basically thrown out of a Japanese speakeasy or bar or whatever you want to call it. You could buy beer on the street. At least back then you could with vending machines. Yeah.
Oh,
Kirin, Sapporo, right there, right out of a machine.
I see.
But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Clay Hall. I'm Tim May. Clay Hall is headed to his mom's memorial service. Clay, my heart goes out to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
And we've discussed that, with her passing earlier and your dad's passing, how quickly they came close to each other. They weren't unexpected. They were expected. But that's like when somebody said to me about my dad was 87, I think, when he passed, and say, well, you had him for a long time. I said, yeah, we had him so long. We kind of got used to him finally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But now he's gone. Right.
Yeah. So I always hate that. Well, you had him for a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
Believe me,
That's
no one wants to lose their mother ever.
No.
But anyway, good luck to you on your
thank you.
on your sojourn south for that, because it's always fun to, and I always tell people, man, talk about the positive stuff, man. Talk about the fun things.
Oh, I got a great Urban Meyer story.
Yeah.
That she
Go ahead.
she met him. Oh, I don't have to
Tell it right now.
No. I'm here Friday. I'm here
next
Monday.
Oh, I didn't realize
I'm here
that.
next Wednesday. But it is a good story.
I don't pay attention like I should, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
I'm 71, but
yeah, I'm not out till next week.
okay. I thought you were leaving.
No,
I thought
no.
you were leaving as we speak. I don't know why your suitcase is sitting right out there. I think I saw Tito Fitoff going through it a minute ago. So anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tim May. That's Clay Hall. This has been the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall. That's pretty well named, isn't it? Have you gotten used to that?
Well, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on, because
See you on Friday.
Clay is going to start taking more sabbaticals and stuff, because when he retired, he wanted to be retired. Me, same thing, but
It didn't happen.
yeah, but
Oh, look who's here.
but I'm totally enjoying my days, my podcast with Clay Hall, ladies and gentlemen. So
Thank
until
you,
next
brother.
time,
Thank you.
we will see you then.